So do you remember when I said that like League of Legends, if you play solo queue, 80% of the time it's a waste of time, right? This is because of 40-40-20 rule, right? So do you remember we talked about 40-20 rule? This is engagement optimized matchmaking, right? So it's like 2 games you auto win, 2 games you auto lose, and 1 game you are the decider, right? Now, the games are like scattered, so you don't know when you're playing, you don't know which one is which, but generally speaking, this is the way the system works. So what does that mean? 4 games are pre-decided and waste your time. Okay? Because you do not learn much when your opponent is first time Fiora or first time Garen. Okay? You're not gonna learn much. Likewise, you're not gonna learn much when you win your lane, right? And then their entire team, or you do well in your lane and their jungler just sits on top and you can't do much, or their entire team ganks you and you can't do much, right? It's think about the time waste, right? So after the lane, you can say, okay, yeah, let's say first 10 minutes it's still efficient because you're practicing the laning phase, alright? But you have to remember that there is a jungler in the game. So some games, the guy will gank you level 2, and he will gank you again level 5. And then he'll gank you again level 6. Do you understand? So sometimes you can't really do anything because the jungler just sits in your lane. So it's a waste of your time. And you get to lose the game because you can't impact. And your team just decided to feed, even though they're playing 4 versus 3 the entire map. Right, so these games are like total waste of your time. I'm talking about the loser's queue. On another side, we already discussed, like, you're playing against first-time Garen. Your Lee Sin ganks him level 3. It's automatic kill for you. The guy comes back, buys whatever, some shitty item, boots or something. Your jungler comes back. He sits in your lane. It's a massacre, right? Again, it doesn't teach you anything about the game. So, right, what I'm saying, so I'm telling you as an example, this guy should have slaughtered me, right? He is a diamond player, right? And he has 1.2 million points on Fiora, right? So he should be a very good player. But the problem is because the way the game is designed, it's flawed. Like, the game is flawed. You should be able to exit the game to stop wasting your time. But the problem is most of his games are here. Do you see? Like, he's playing 80% of his games in here. And that's a shitty place to be in. Because imagine you go to, like I said before, you go to a football, tennis, golf, basketball training session, and 80% of that is a waste of your time. How long is it going to take you to become good? The answer is forever, right? In fact, as far as to say is probably never, right? Because it's like, think about it this way, right? For you to learn something, you need to first learn it. You need to reinforce the behavior within 7 days, right? And then you have to repeat, and then it gets hardwired into your brain. So, like, how do you move your champion, controlling the cooldowns, understanding cooldowns of other, like, champion, right? I get that stuff easy. Why? Because I play one-on-one a lot. So I know how to play around the cooldowns. So what I'm saying is, right, if you really want to practice League, you should stop playing 5-on-5 and go in 1-on-1. Right? And that's it. Otherwise, you're going to be like this guy here, who has 12 million points, and he still loses to a player who, like, just one tricks. It's just what I'm saying is 1-on-1 is a lot more efficient. Why? Because you do not have these games in one-on-one. You simply do not have. 100% of your games are efficient. Even if you're playing against a shitty player, you can learn things like, do you beat Darius one-on-one with a Q start? A bronze player is good enough for you to test that, right? Whereas in these games, like engagement optimized matchmaking, of course they're gonna put a feeder on your team, and then you see Darius and he's like, press to attack Darius or something like that, right? Or fleet of footwork Darius. I mean, it's just it's incorrect setup, right? It's just shitty setup. Like, I noticed that quality of players in one-on-one is significantly higher than in solo queue because there are no feeders. A feeder will not probably go into a one-on-one game because he knows what's going to happen, right? But because they like to queue up, they're going to be bounced between the teams. If you get him on your team, you lose. If he's playing against you, you learn nothing. And it's going to be 45-minute game of you just beating the crap out of feeders. It's total waste of your time. So what I'm saying is get rid of this and start playing one-on-one, because at least your laning phase is going to be solid, alright? Otherwise, like I said before, 1.2 million Fiora points. Fiora is very strong into Tryndamere. He should have performed a lot better. And I see this a lot. I mean, I play against players who, like, master tier Akali player and he loses to Tryndamere. Like, Akali technically in good hands is a hard counter to Tryndamere, but still he cannot perform well. Why? Because of this, right? That's the problem. You need to get rid of this. Okay? Take care.